Hi, I'm Nick Aubrey, and I'm here to show you how to use the peer ratings, which are available to the public via, at the moment anyway, via the website that you would be supplied with. And you can then open it up in any browser you like. I'm actually just opening up in the Microsoft Edge browser, which is rather coincidental because peer ratings stands for Punting Edge EXPERT Ratings. And here is the starting point. And at the top, you'll see that that's just the logo, is an instruction video. And in fact, this is what I'm recording at the moment. Thought I killed two birds with one stone. This is the ability to clear whatever your selections or whatever the selections are that you have at the moment. So, for instance, if I was to be looking at the 23rd of May, Belmont, and I just wanted to clear that out and start again. So just hit the clear selections buttons, and then you can start again at deciding what race day that do you want to look at. So the first row is showing the selected race day. As I said, there's always 8 days. Last 7 days plus today is available. And then after that, the next level down is the meeting for that day. And then past and down further is the actual race for the day. All right, so let's just roll up our sleeves and get into it. So, for instance, I'm recording this on the 25th of May, so that is showing as the most recent day. But let's go back a little bit. Let's go back to Saturday, because once the day has finished, all the results are automatically uploaded, and in fact, every 15 minutes, if you're looking at this browser, the results and what have you of the races will be updated automatically. So yeah, so the 23rd of May was an interesting race day. It featured the Doomben Cup. So let's look at Doomben. So by clicking on Doomben, and let's look at Pride of Jenny's race to see what went on there, and explain to you the various colour codes that I've got for my ratings. So here's the Pride of Jenny race. Pride of Jenny, peer stands for my ratings, my own individual ratings that I've supplied, and the horse, which you can sort either high or low, with the highest or lowest peer rating, it was Pride of Jenny. So then that's shown with a green background. The next column is the opening odds. So this is the odds that Pride of Jenny was on a consensus approach. So it's not strictly from one bookmaker, it's actually the median price for a number of bookmakers at about 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was $3.50. The latest odds is the consensus of bookies, very, very similar to the starting price of the horse once the race has been completed. Right, or whatever it is at the current time. I'm sorry, it's at the current time. So for that, I should have explained up here what the last refresh was for this day, and it was actually Saturday. Last Saturday, the last refresh was at 9:11 p.m. So that was well and truly after all the races for that day had been run. And yeah, so that's the latest odds. You'll see that that's the opening odds. You'll see for the opening odds, there are the favourite will be shown with a very light blue background. And in fact, because there was two favourites, equal favourites, Birdman and Pride of Jenny, they both showed with a very light blue. Next to that is the latest odds, which, as I said, I just explained, is either the current odds or then once the race is finished and it's resulted, obviously, it reverts to the very close to what the starting price is. The next, and in fact, a slightly darker blue background represents the favourite. That's the final favourite for that race. The next is a very interesting field. It's called the odds flux, and it, as I said, it's updated in real time in race day for the current race. For the race day, it's updated every about 15 minutes. It is calculated not just by the ratio of the odds, opening and latest, but it's converted to, it's called the hyperbolic mean. It's actually the difference between the inverse of the odds. So the percentage, if you like, of a horse winning between the opening odds and the latest odds. And so it's in fact the amount of percentage that horse has come in or gone out in the betting. A minus figure means it's shortened. A plus figure means it's gone out in the betting. And the horse with the greatest that's come in the most, the big short, if you like, is shown with a purple background. The next column called peer rating, that is my rating value for that horse in that race. Generally, if I'm going to have a bet, I'd like to only bet on horses where the peer rating is greater than 0. If it's less than 0, you'll see it shown with obviously a minus figure, but also in a red colour. And of course, the bigger the peer rating, the more likely it is to win. The next thing is PIR. PIR stands for position in running. Now this is something that I'm quite interested in tracking the pace of the race and who is the most likely leaders, who are the off pace, on pace, and back markers. Because generally you can there is definitely an edge to backing horses that lead in their races, because if they're leading and they're as good as the rest of them, they're more likely to have a free passage in running, less likely to be interfered with, and therefore more likely to win. So it's also rather interesting, like if you're interested in perhaps just having a bet in the race, you're watching it on down the pub or whatever, there's a great satisfaction in seeing your horse leading, at least for some stage. I'd love to be able to get on for a horse that's going to be leading at the turn, because the rating I've come up with, the PIR rating, it actually shows the estimated lengths from the leader at the home turn. So Pride of Jenny had that distinction, but you probably don't need a computer algorithm to tell you that. But anyway, that was just the race I chose. And it said that basically the second horse that would be closest to Pride of Jenny around the turn would have been She's a Hustler. And then the next one is minus 7.5 was Half Yours, and then Birdman minus 1.98. The next column are obviously only filled out once the race is run. It'd be great if it was done there beforehand, and that's the finishing position of just 1, 2, or 3. And the next two columns are self-explanatory, the jockey and the trainer. So there we have it for that. Now, you might be interested in looking at, why don't we then look at some other races that happened that day. Let's look at Randwick races on the same day. Now, as you might recall, Randwick was a real bog track on the day. And so I just want to select all races from Randwick. And let's just see, oh, there it is, yeah. So there's the races from Randwick. Let's have a look. Let's just pick the last race just for interest's sake. So Invader Zim was probably, as you can see here, it was one of the biggest shorteners of the day. 9s into 440. Now, it was very interesting that the track condition was a bog track, and doesn't actually, normally that would show the track condition, but for some reason it didn't pop up on the day. I don't know why. And an old punting adage is you always back the shorteners on a wet track. And that was certainly the case on Saturday with Kieran McAvoy coming down the outside and grabbing and going and clearing away and winning easily. So 9s into 4s. That's a significant. It's a significant deviation, well, significant shortening. But if you are in fact interested in all of the shorteners, because there's only one shortener on the day that I'm showing, and sometimes it can vary as the race as the race gets closer to the race time, that some horses can then shorten up very late. But this was generally on a bog track, a heavy track. As soon as the punters know that the track's heavy, there can be quite a lot of variance in the odds. And so look at that compared to the race we were looking at, where Pride of Jenny and that whole field, there was only +1 or 2%. And here, and most of them are +1 or 2%, whereas Invader Sim was 11%, and that's quite a big shift in the odds. So let's look at, if we're interested in, rather than just looking at that one race, if I select all races, and then under here, if I select the big short, so that is giving you all of the 10 races on the day and where they and just those horses that were shorteners. And if you want to know the actual race, because of the amount of real estate I've got available, the actual race will only show up there once I click on the runner. So that was Prima Bella was actually in round race 8, race 9. Ainsbury was race 5. Exit Fee was race 3, and so on. You can see up there. But interestingly, for all of those, on that day of the 10 races, amazingly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, 6 of the horses were actually shorteners, the biggest shorteners in that race on the day. And interestingly, 4 of them were actually ridden by Sienna Grimer. 3 of them were Chris Waller's, and 1 was John Sargent's horse. So that's quite an amazing. But if you want to actually look at all of the information for that race, not just the big shortener for that race, then Prima Bella is in Randwick race 9. So the way you would do that, you would unclick that, right, and then you would go to race 9 at Randwick, and there we have it. And there it is, sorted in terms of what I rated. So I actually rated Prima Bella was my top pick, but also it was very much shortened in the betting. It came in from $11 into $6.50. So that's from 9 o'clock in the morning till basically the race time. Ridden by Ash Morgan, very good jockey. And Snack Bar, which was estimated to lead in the race, but I don't know if it did, because sometimes with these heavy tracks, a lot of the form and the estimating of what's going to happen is thrown out the window. But as you can see, that the market is your best guide often in these sorts of conditions. And Snack Bar was did actually come in slightly in the betting. It was 350 to 335. And another interesting aspect is that for some of these bets, as I was saying, best bets, and this is best bets based on my rating value. So if you're interested in all of my best bets, and there's generally 4 or 5 each day, the way to access those very quickly is to, first of all, select all races. So and let's say you want to select all venues and all races, and you just want to find out which are the best bets for the day. So if you click on a yes, and there we have it. There was actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the day, and it was actually 2 winners, 2 seconds, and a third. And as you can see, there were some good prices. Flying Destiny 11 to 1. Or Pacifico, Opie Blossom. It was actually a bit of a blow in the betting. Went out from $1.75 to 2.08, and that was actually in New Zealand. Yes, I do cover New Zealand. Yes, that was in Ellerslie, race 2, very early in the day. So for those that like to hop in and have a few bets early on, and as you can see, it was the leader in the race. In fact, it led all the way. I think you'll find it fought on well, and was never really in doubt. Another one, well, of course, Now Is the Hour, very strongly backed in, but and that was in Doomben race 2, ridden by J-Mac, ran second, and the other one was in a tow, that was Belmont race 6, probably the biggest rating of the day, minus 15.5. It's also backed in strongly, $3.90 into $3, and unfortunately it ran second, I think, from memory, just got collared right on the line. Looked as if it was home for all money, but then got beaten. So there's very briefly a bit of an overview of how you can use my my peer ratings to have a lot of fun, and not just, you don't necessarily have to follow my my peer ranking, but it's also important to follow the fluctuations, what the opening odds are, what the latest odds are, and as I said, that is updated every 15 minutes. And also other aspects. If you're looking for a bit of value, a bit of an outsider, then it's invariably the horse that has is going to be the leader on the turn, most likely estimated, especially if it's a long shot. You can often snag a long shot winner, and you have the fun of watching it lead all the way. Okay, have fun.